Imagine a country that is often described as one of the most peaceful places in Europe. A country known for sunlight, old streets, and a slow rhythm of life. Portugal carries this reputation quietly, but living here reveals a reality that is calmer, deeper, and sometimes very different. Portugal sits on the far western edge of Europe, where the land meets the Atlantic Ocean. It shares only one land border, with Spain, stretching for about 1,200 kilometers. The country is relatively small, covering just over 92,000 square kilometers. Around 10 million people live here, with most concentrated along the coast. Lisbon, the capital, sits near the mouth of the Tagus River. Porto lies further north, shaped by hills and wine regions. The south is warmer and flatter, especially in the Algarve. Inland areas feel quieter and more rural, yet less visited. Portugal's long coastline brings mild winters and strong winds, but this Atlantic position also creates distance from Central Europe. Portugal's economy feels modest when compared to much of Western Europe. It is part of the European Union and uses the euro, but average incomes remain lower than in countries like Germany or France. The minimum monthly wage is around 820 euros before tax. An average salary often sits between 1,200 and 1,500 euros per month. For many locals, this income is enough to live simply, but not to save much. Still, daily expenses remain lower than in most EU capitals. Rent is the biggest cost. In Lisbon or Porto, a one-bedroom apartment can range from 900 to 1,400 euros. Outside major cities, the same apartment may cost half that price. Groceries are relatively affordable. A basic weekly shop often costs between 40 and 60 euros. Housing has become another serious issue. In major cities, rent has risen faster than wages. You notice this most in Lisbon and Porto. Locals compete with tourists, short-term rentals, and foreign buyers. Finding a long-term apartment can take months. Some people spend over half their income on rent alone. Eating out is part of daily life. A simple lunch menu with soup, a main dish and coffee can cost 8 to 12 euros. But prices rise quickly in tourist areas. In popular neighborhoods, even a coffee can cost twice as much. Tourism plays a major role in the economy. Millions of visitors arrive each year, especially in summer. This creates jobs, but many are seasonal and low-paid. At the same time, foreign buyers and digital workers bring outside money. This helps the economy grow, yet it also pushes prices higher for locals. Portugal feels affordable to outsiders, calm and comfortable. But for many residents, the balance between income and cost is tight. Portuguese culture moves at a gentle pace. People value calm behavior and quiet manners. Raising your voice in public feels uncommon here. You notice this quickly in cafés, shops, and public transport. Family plays a central role in daily life. Many people stay close to their parents, even as adults. Sunday lunches often last several hours. It is normal to see 3 generations at the same table. But family life is private, and outsiders are rarely invited inside quickly. Time is treated with flexibility. Arriving 10 or 15 minutes late is often accepted. Appointments exist, yet they do not always feel strict. However, when it comes to paperwork, patience is expected. Simple processes can take weeks, sometimes months. Food shapes social life more than entertainment. Meals are simple, fresh, and repeated often. Fish appears on tables several times a week. Cod alone is said to have over 300 traditional recipes. Bread, olive oil, and coffee are daily habits, not special treats. Portuguese people are polite but reserved. Smiles are subtle. Conversations begin slowly. You may not receive immediate warmth, but respect comes first. Once trust forms, relationships tend to be loyal and long-lasting. Work culture reflects this mindset. Many businesses close between 1 and 3 in the afternoon. Lunch is treated as a real break, not something rushed. Yet salaries do not always match the effort people give. There is pride in tradition. Festivals, local music, and small neighborhood events still matter. At the same time, modern life is slowly changing habits. Portugal feels relaxed and welcoming, but beneath that calm surface, social rules are quietly observed. Portugal is one of the oldest countries in Europe with fixed borders. Its boundaries have remained mostly unchanged since the 12th century. This long continuity shapes how the country sees itself today. For several centuries, Portugal was a global maritime power. In the 15th and 16th centuries, Portuguese ships reached Africa, Asia, and South America. Lisbon became one of the richest ports in Europe. Spices, gold, and trade routes flowed through the country. But this period of expansion did not last forever. As other European powers grew stronger, Portugal slowly lost influence. The 1755 Lisbon earthquake destroyed much of the capital and weakened the economy. Later, the country faced political instability and isolation. In the 20th century, Portugal lived under a long dictatorship. This period lasted until 1974. The Carnation Revolution ended the regime with little violence. Soon after, Portugal lost its overseas colonies and turned inward. Joining the European Union in 1986 changed the country again. Infrastructure improved. Living standards slowly rose, yet the past still feels present. Portugal carries the memory of former greatness, but today it lives more quietly, focused on stability rather than power. Daily life in Portugal moves slowly, but it is full. You feel it most in the morning. Cities wake up early, yet without urgency. Cafés open before 8 a.m. and people stand at the counter, not sitting. A small coffee costs around €1 to €1.50. It is drunk quickly, often in silence. Streets are narrow in many cities. Buildings are old, sometimes over 100 years. You notice worn tiles, small balconies and laundry hanging outside. Yet inside, apartments are often modernized, but space is limited. Many homes are under 70 square meters, especially in cities. Public transport exists, but it feels uneven. In Lisbon and Porto, you can rely on metros, buses, and trams. A monthly transport pass costs about €40. You can cross the city without a car, but once you leave urban areas, options shrink fast. In smaller towns, buses may come only a few times per day. Here you quickly learn that a car becomes necessary. Workdays usually start around 9 a.m. Offices close between 6 and 7 p.m. But lunch is taken seriously. Between 1 and 3 p.m., many shops close. You notice the streets grow quieter. This break feels traditional, yet it still shapes modern life. You see people walking often. Portugal is not rushed. Elderly people sit on benches for long periods. They watch the street without distraction. Young people gather outside cafes instead of inside malls. Phones are present, but conversations last longer here. Shopping is local. Small bakeries and fruit shops still survive. You buy bread daily, not weekly. Fresh pastries cost €1 to €2. Fish markets remain active, especially near the coast. You see sardines, sea bass, and octopus sold the same day they arrive. Meals are simple and repeated. Lunch is the main meal. Dinner is lighter and eaten later, often after 8 p.m. At home, meals are quiet. Eating while watching television is common. Restaurants feel relaxed, but service can be slow. You learn not to rush. Social life happens outdoors. Public squares stay active until late evening. Children play while parents talk nearby. You notice that people trust these spaces. Crime exists, but violent crime is low compared to many countries. You also notice the weather shaping behavior. Winters are mild, but houses are cold. Most homes lack central heating. Winters are mild, but houses are cold. Electric heaters are common, but energy is expensive. Daily routines repeat. Life does not change quickly here. For some, this feels safe and grounding. For others, it feels limiting. You begin to understand that everyday life in Portugal is not built for speed. It is built for endurance, patience, and quiet continuity. Portugal's calm lifestyle also comes with clear limits. The biggest challenge is income. Salaries remain low, even for skilled work. You can earn less here than in many European countries doing the same job. For young people, this creates pressure. Many leave for France, Germany, or Northern Europe. Bureaucracy is slow. Simple tasks require multiple visits and long waiting times. You learn to bring extra documents, even when they are not listed. Online systems exist, but they often do not work smoothly. This can feel frustrating, especially if you are new. Career growth is limited. Many jobs offer stability, but little progression. Workplaces value loyalty, yet promotions are rare. You may feel secure, but also stuck. Public services are generally safe, but under pressure. Healthcare is affordable, yet waiting times can be long. You might wait months for a specialist appointment. Private care exists, but it adds extra cost. Weather also hides a problem. Homes are poorly insulated. In winter, indoor temperatures can drop below 15 degrees. You notice people adapting instead of fixing the system. Portugal offers peace and safety, but it asks patience in return. You begin to see that this life rewards acceptance more than ambition. Portugal is often described as an easy place to live, and in many ways, that is true. Life here feels calm, predictable, and human in scale. But this calm is not accidental. It comes with limits, compromises, and quiet trade-offs.